and Jamshedpur have won the Hero ISL. Hyderabad are the Hero of Indian Super League champions.
There's a general feel-good feeling about the Indian national team again after a successful AFC Asian Cup 2023 qualifier campaign. And look, while qualification to the main tournament was expected and it was the bare minimum, frankly, the manner in which the team went about getting their results is what brought everyone together. But that's not the only thing that has captured the attention of Indian football fans after the Hero ISL season ended, because the Indian football scene has been abuzz with activity. Look, we had Mumbai City FC and ATK Mohun Bagan's respective AFC Champions League and AFC Cup campaigns. We also had football reaching fever pitch in Kerala with the state team winning the Santosh Trophy. And we also now have the small matter of Hero ISL transfers hotting up. So to discuss that and more and dissect it, we've brought together a few familiar faces and a few familiar voices that you heard during the course of the season. And without further ado, I will bring in the resident prince of Bangla football commentary, Kaushik Varun. Wait for it. The man who lends movement and dance to words, Pulasta Dhar, and the man who needs no introduction, Shaiju Damodran, the voice of Kerala football. Gentlemen, so good to have you back together once again. We've got the band back. And I'll tell you what, if the off-season is anything to go by, we're in for a really, really nice domestic football calendar. So Pulasta, I'll start with you first. There's been so much activity around Indian football, right? And it can only bode well, right? It doesn't feel like the season's really ended.
I know. And you know, even the best thing is I have never looked forward to a season this badly. Somebody was asking me the other day, what is up? And I said, it's going to be the worst time. These 45 days from the middle of June till the end of July are going to be so bad. I cannot wait for the football to start. I think we have a longer season as well. So much to look forward to. And I think it's great that we continue to keep, looking at Indian football stories and discussing it, even though the season's over a few months ago. Yeah,
perfect. Varun, coming to you. Tell us what you've been up to apart from commentary during the qualifiers. How's the refereeing going, for example?
Refereeing, umpiring, both are going on pretty well, and getting ready for the national exams in January and following you all on social media, and especially on Saturdays. I used to miss you all in the afternoons, Shaiju, Chet and Pullers, and you. I used to miss you less football I was missing. So it's good to get you all back, though virtually, but really looking forward to a brand new season again.
Likewise, Varun. And Shaiju sir, how have you enjoyed the off-season so far? You've been involved with the Santosh Trophy and covering that, and in general, enjoyed watching the national team during the qualifiers?
Actually, like Pulasta and Varun said, and before answering to the question, Suyash, I would kindly request you to remove the sir, because we have already run through a full season. I would like to call me Shaiju. It makes me more comfortable, I think, to be very frank. So sure, kindly
noted, Shaiju. But
he's turned a year younger.
Yes,
that's nice. But I may still let the sir slip a few times. Okay, so you'll have to pardon me when that happens.
Okay, so I'm afraid whether to call this off season. As far as the things which is happening around us in Indian football, I think we can't call it as an off season, because right now we have just finished the great. This Asian KBFC qualifiers. Before that, after ISL, 2-3 weeks of I-League actions continued. Yeah. Then the Women's I-League, all Kerala became happy in all things. So obviously, for me, there is no off-season this year, to be very frank.
The national team players also, till very recently, while the qualifiers were going on, didn't feel like there was any off-season, because it was just game after game for them. They went into a national team training camp, and of course it paid dividends. And joining us today on the show, we have someone who made an impact in that last game against Hong Kong in the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. Let me bring in Ishan Pandita, who's going to be joining in the conversation with Shaiju Damodran, Pulasta Dhar, and Kaushik Varun. Ishan, good to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining. Are you still doing the Viking clap in your dreams?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. But no more Viking clap. I'm going to have to save that for the next game, hopefully.
And hopefully when you score in the next game as well, isn't it?
Yes, for sure.
Awesome, Ishan. I'm just going to throw it to Varun, who has a question to pick your brain to start off with. So Varun, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Suyash and Ishan. Good to have you. It's really good to see you on the field. When you warm up, at the end of the game, we really look forward to getting a goal. You are actually the main super sub the country has ever seen in the ISL in the Indian team. So great to have you. Great to meet you virtually.
Thank you.
You have played under a lot of coaches and you have spent a lot of time with Stimac now, both off the field and on the field. So what is that thing you really like about his approach?
I mean, I obviously have to give a lot of credit to Igor Stimac because he is the coach that gave me my national team debut last year in Dubai, sorry. And then this year, he's the one who gave me the opportunity to come on the field and I scored my first goal. So a lot of credit goes to him. He's helped me a lot on and off the field. And luckily enough, this time we had a nice amount of time together. We started quite early in Bellary. Then we went to Kolkata. We traveled to Qatar, back to Kolkata. And it was just been a great experience so far.
Superb.
So Ishan, nice meeting you here.
Nice meeting you as well. Thank you.
So I want to know what were the exact words? What were the exact words which Igor shared with you just before you were coming off the bench against Hong Kong?
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he said, "This is your moment. You have 10 odd minutes, if I'm not wrong. Go out there, do what you can, and get a goal for your country." I think it went something like that.
Great.
And luckily enough, that's what happened.
Those are good words, no, Ishan, to actually kind of get onto a pitch. But, just at the start of the show, Suyash mentioned how there's a lot of talk about a longer football calendar. And I think the country's kind of been yearning for that discussion. Let's have a long 8-9 month season. But when you as a striker, when you read news like that, what is the feeling? What does it do to you in terms of motivating you and, just probably giving you a feeling we're probably moving towards a proper sorted football season?
I mean, only good things can come from this. Since I've come to India, I've been used to a very small season, not like one that we're normally used to in the world of football. So finally, to get a proper season, you can say, or a season with a lot more games, is only going to benefit the country, myself, all my teammates, because now we have games to improve and we have more minutes, and you only get better with games. So it's exciting, and we're all looking forward to it.
And, the whole Indian striker problem, we don't seem to produce enough Indian strikers. It's probably a bit of a historical issue as well, because we have foreign forwards. But for you, more longer season, more games, more minutes, personally, as a striker, to cement your place as, how good is that?
It's exciting, obviously. I've struggled so much since I've come to India with getting games and getting minutes because of the whole 4 foreigners, 5 foreigners, and a striker always playing as a number 9. And I'm very keen on staying where I am. I don't want to shift to the wings or play behind the striker. And I think with time and with patience, I can make that position mine. I just have to be a bit calm and humble at the moment. But like I said, this upcoming season, if we do get more opportunities and more minutes, I can only grow from it, benefit from it, and help Indian football for sure.
Yeah, we hope so as well.
The Hero ISL is glad that you made that switch so early in your career to the league. And you mentioned playing abroad as well. There was the Reliance Foundation Development League that happened earlier, about a couple of months back. And Bengaluru FC and Kerala Blasters FC were the two teams that basically qualified for the Premier League Next Gen Cup. So they're going to be flying there to the UK later in the year and facing high quality opposition over there. So as someone who's played abroad in Europe and as someone who's got a first-hand taste of what that level is or might be, what's the one advice that you'd give to the youngsters traveling to the Premier League Next Gen Cup, and what can they expect in terms of just basic things like how much of a jump is it going to be in level?
I mean, I personally feel any form of exposure is the best thing that can happen to our youth at the moment. I will always encourage clubs or teams, etc., to go outside, go to Europe, play friendlies there, do preseason there, and get that exposure and that feel of football we're in a place where it's real and it's been done before. I mean, if I could meet them right now, I'd just tell them to play with a smile, enjoy the small moments, go out there, no fear, just like you have when you were playing here in India. enjoy, learn, and make the most of it. You never know what can happen in football.
No, absolutely right, Ishan. Just want to follow that up by asking you another question about news breaking in earlier that Sahal Abdul Samad was potentially in with a move to an Icelandic club, and then there was some conjecture over there, but it didn't quite go through because of visa regulations or whatnot. We don't want to speculate exactly what happened over there. But in essence, is that something that's spoken about in the national team dressing room? Because you stayed for a long time with Sahal during the camp, and you got a taste of the environment. Is that a discourse between the national team players? Is it brought up, maybe playing abroad one day?
To be very honest, I'm not going to give names, but within our own circle, I would say of the younger players and the upcoming generation, we do feel excited to go outside. And I do get a lot of my teammates asking me a lot of questions about how it was and what it's like to be there. And I keep telling them, if you're ever in that stage in your career where you can go outside, take it, because there's nothing like it. India can always wait. You can always play in India and you can come back. But the development, the growth, the experience, you cannot get that anywhere else. It has to be in Europe, in my opinion.
Complementing to that point, what kind of a change did your life in Spain made in your own football career?
I think not just as a player, but as a person, I think I grew up very fast. I went there young and I made a lot of mistakes. I got exposed to a world that was so new, so fast. So if I didn't adapt and develop fast, I would be left behind. So I think as a player, I think physically I changed a lot. I was quite a skinny kid in India. I was skinny, but when I went to Spain, I sort of put on some weight, some muscle. I grew up from a boy to a young man, and even technically, game understanding, everything. You learn everything there, and I think that has benefited me a lot when I played, because I always seem to be in the right place at the right time.
Who all are your best mates in Indian dressing room right now?
There's too many. I can't give you a few names, but
oh, come on.
I think
give us a few.
In this current camp, I spent a lot of time with Akash Mishra, Anwar Ali, Liston, with Ashik, Sahal, everyone. It was a good group of boys we had.
Ishan, like during the course of commentary, we often call you like the super duper sub, and we often think, "Arey, 2-3 match ho gaye again. He's gonna come again. He's gonna score," and you actually do it. You actually are becoming a super duper sub. But do you really like this tagline, like Ishan, the super duper sub on the field, and you're actually proving yourself every day? So I don't know, like when the coach is making the team sheet, do you really ask like, "Mere ko substitute hi rakhna? I don't want to be in playing 11 because I'm going to score as a sub."
I mean, if I have to be very honest, I obviously don't really like it, but it is what it is. Like every other player, I want to be on the field from minute one. And just the way things have been since I've come back, I haven't been able to get that. So just doing what I'm doing right now, I am blessed, and I'm happy that I've made the impact that I have coming on the field with such little minutes. So if people want to keep calling me that and that makes them happy, it's okay. But there will come a day where I will start games and I will score.
Right, absolutely. And all the best wishes for that. Not just a super duper sub, but a super duper human being and a super duper footballer. Because if you're creating an impact in just 15-20 minutes, so imagine 90 minutes of football, you'll be creating a huge impact, I'm sure.
Yes. Thank you.
Ishan, you seem to be in a candid, honest mood. So I'm going to ask you a bit of a tough one, which probably involves a little bit of self-awareness, a bit of introspection. I followed your career for a while, and I think it's a slightly lengthy question, so you can edit it out. But
no worries.
when I came back from abroad after studying and all of that, I had to be cut down to size a little bit by my editor, because there was this just thing. You're young, you think you probably know a lot more than you actually do. But I think what has happened over the past couple of seasons for you specifically, when I've spoken to you, when I've spoken to others about you as well, and what the India goal does, do you think you're more likable now? Do you think you've introspected, and you mentioned calm and humble, which really struck me. Have you actively thought about that? That yes, I need to be slightly on the ground, and an India goal, what that FC Goa goals, great. Club goals, great. What an India goal does is it changes perception of who you are as a player, as a person, everything. Do you feel that way? Do you feel that it's done that for you?
First of all, I don't know what people might be saying about me on and off the field, but if you get to know me as a person, I might not be what you think I am. But in my opinion, I'm quite a normal kid. I do what I'm told to do. I train hard, I play, and I keep myself disciplined. But as you said, it sort of does add a little different aspect in my career now, this India goal, because it's your country. It comes first. And scoring a goal and the way I did can make you a little crazy in your head, and you can get caught up with everything that has happened. Hence me saying I need to stay calm, humble. I always am, but right now a little bit more, because I don't need to get carried away with everything that's happening and the noise and all the fans and the excitement and social media, etc. So it's a long process. It's just the beginning, and I have a long way to go and a lot of things to do, for sure.
Great. I like that attitude.
Thank you.
It's not a tough question like Pulasta Dhar. No such claim.
That's okay. I don't mind tough questions. It's okay.
It's a purely fun question as always from me.
Okay.
Ishan, just before coming to India, you were with Lorca FC in Spain.
Yes.
So this Lorca had a great story regarding with vegetables. In fact, for the couple of seasons, into exactly say in 2013-14, the first kit and the second kit of Lorca FC dedicated to broccoli, one of the great vegetable, broccoli. And even that first kit had the logo of a broccoli here. Okay, yeah. So my question, what is the secret vegetable behind Ishan Pandita's energy, unmatching energy in India?
Do you know which fruit it is?
It's not a vegetable. It's a fruit. Yeah, it's just the apple. Secret to my success. Apple.
Broccoli, it's an apple. Yeah.
It's an apple. Yes.
Well, brilliant stuff. Trust Shaiju to come up with a twister like that one. But Ishan, you've been so candid with us so far, and we thank you for that. Just want to end this conversation with your thoughts on maybe looking forward to the new season with Jamshedpur FC potentially playing at the Furnace again in front of fans. It's going to be the first time that you're going to be playing a Hero ISL season in front of the fans. So how much are you looking forward to that? And what is your message to the Jamshedpur FC fans ahead of what will eventually be the new season of the Hero ISL?
It's going to be a long season. We're excited. We really are. And having the fans back is going to make everything 1,000 times better. I'm very excited. I haven't played with fans since I've come to India in the ISL. Yeah. I got a little taste of what it's like in Kolkata. So I'm really excited to play in front of my own home fans in Jamshedpur. And it's going to be a fantastic season, I'm sure. So just good luck to everyone. And we'll be doing our best in Jamshedpur as well.
Well, thank you for joining us, Ishan. That's a lovely way to cap off the conversation with that message to the fans. And here's to more goals for you in Pandita time as well as normal time. That'll be nice as well.
Yes, I hope so. This time, normal time.
Yeah. Normal time. We need more.
Yes.
Thank you for joining, Ishan.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Ishan.
you. Thanks.
Well, that was an entertaining conversation with national team striker Ishan Pandita. And now let's move on to something that happened a few months back, like we mentioned at the top of the show. Mumbai City FC and ATK Mohun Bagan's respective AFC Champions League and AFC Cup campaigns. Let's start with Mumbai City FC first, guys, shall we? They finished second in the group with 7 points. That's the best performance by an Indian club in the history of the AFC Champions League. They finished with 7 points, 2 wins, 1 draw, and in a group which had teams like Al Jazeera and Al Shabab and Air Force Club of Iraq, who they beat twice, actually. It was quite an achievement. So just on that, Pulasta, we saw Mumbai City FC adopting a very different style of play to what they usually employed during the ISL season. And one might say they had to do that to adapt because they were playing in the continent's biggest club competition. But if I was to ask you, how long away or how far away are we from the day when Indian clubs in an AFC continental competition, Champions League more specifically, can employ their own style of play and sort of, play maybe proactive football versus reactive football, which, by the way, there's no harm in doing that because they had to do that to get the results. But how do you see that trajectory going? How far away are we from an Indian club, playing their own game on the continental stage?
You made the you said that it's not wrong to react, right? And I think with all the conversations with Des Buckingham, he'll probably tell you before every game that we're going to play our own game and we don't look at the opposition. But that's just one of those favorite answers that coaches give. You have to look at the opposition. However, I think it doesn't depend on just Indian football as a whole, but on the bravery of the head coach, on the team that they have there at the tournament, and all of that when you put together. I think every time Des Buckingham has tried to stamp his authority on a game, be it in domestic football or in continental football that we've seen, it's kind of worked out for him. So he might be one of those head coaches who's much better suited to letting his team play their brand, their style, have their approach, rather than get obsessed with the opposition and what they will do and how to react to that. I think Varun is going to touch up on that as well, but ATK Mohun Bagan did the same thing and got results. So it comes down to who are the characters involved. And what I think is the more characters we have who are brave and want to play their style in Indian football, the more we will see that kind of approach, pay out dividends.
Yeah, good point there. And Shaiju, if I was to come to you next, look, Mumbai City FC, in the middle of their campaign, they went down to Al Jazeera, right? In the next game that they played, the fourth game that they played, they went and drew against Al Jazeera. Last game that they played, defeated Air Force Club. Air Force Club, in fact, wouldn't want to see any of the Mumbai City FC players' faces because it was one of the worst campaigns that they had in their history of the AFC Champions League. So clearly not a fluke, right? You cannot call this performance something that was just a flash in the pan. It was a very strategic, methodically thought out campaign, and Des Buckingham and his boys executed that to perfection.
Absolutely. I agree with that point that the performance of Mumbai City FC in this season of AFC Champions League is not a fluke. So take the results against the topmost club, Al Jazeera. One match, Al Jazeera won, just a narrow win, 1-0. And the second match, within a couple of days, 0-0. If you take both the matches, even that 0-0 draw match, it could have been easily Mumbai City FC's match. I still believe in each half, 2 penalties were disallowed to Mumbai City FC. One was a foul against Diego Mauricio, and the second half, it was a substitute player, Vikram Pratap Singh, who brought down inside the box. So 2 penalties were disallowed. They had a great match, and even then 0-0 draw. So, like you said, it's not a fluke that, and don't forget, Mumbai City FC had 2 big wins in the sense 2-1 in 1-0 or 2-1 against Air Force Club Iraq. So they had 2 wins against Air Force Club, one great goalless draw against Al Jazeera. So taking into consideration all these facts, we can say with utmost confidence and proud that this is not a fluke. Mumbai City FC, they were very strategically and they were very motivated to play the AFC Champions League properly by Des Buckingham, no doubt.
They grew as a team as well through the fixtures, Suyash. I think they grew as a team. You can be very overawed, when you're playing the Champions League. But then I think once they were there and they started playing, they were like, hey, you know what, we can do this. And kind of showed.
Yeah, but Suyash, I could have been more happy if somebody like Vikram Pratap, Bipin Singh or Rainier Fernandez could have been in the score sheet of an AFC Champions League match.
Yeah, the fact that it was Diego Mauricio twice, but Rahul Beke was. So first ever goal scored by an Indian in the AFC Champions League. So that was a special one for him. Now, let's talk a bit about ATK Mohun Bagan's AFC Cup campaign as well. They won their group. They beat Blue Star convincingly before reaching that group, and then had a bit of a stumble in the beginning, losing to I-League champions Gokulam Kerala. So how did ATK Mohun Bagan kind of turn that campaign around in their favor? Tell us a bit about the story of that campaign.
Like the turnaround was brilliant, the way they came back. But I want to talk about that Gokulam Kerala FC match because, in 2019, the Durham Cup finals, Mohun Bagan played Gokulam Kerala and they got beaten. The scoreline was 2-1 and it was at the same venue, the Salt Lake Stadium, the VYBK. So I had this fear, I had this feeling, something might go wrong. It will be a tough match, and that's what happened. And I think you have to give credit to Gokulam Kerala FC. They were brilliant that day and the way they played. So they were the deserving winners outstanding play. But I really appreciate, the way the Mariners bounced back. They came back. It was for the fans because, they were expecting a lot. And after that loss, they were really heartbroken. So I really appreciate the way they came back, bounced back with such score lines. So a really good tale to talk about, but I really look forward to another clash of, Gokulam Kerala and ATK Mohun Bagan, because I think, Gokulam Kerala has that power in them when they play at the Salt Lake Stadium.
Yeah, and Shaiju would know a thing about Gokulam Kerala being from the state itself. Shaiju, what did you make of Gokulam's performance in the AFC Cup group?
I think it's a great learning season for Gokulam Kerala in the AFC Cup. Despite of getting a great start, it was a 4-goal win against the giants like ATK Mohun Bagan, and they couldn't continue. It's a quite disappointing fact that they couldn't continue that momentum in the group stage. So, like I said, they're a good team. They're a great team, and I would like to see them in the ISL, Indian Super League football, soon, because we all are waiting for the most awaited Kerala derby. We want it in ISL. So Gokulam Kerala already they proved that they're a team. But like you said, the AFC, if you discuss about about the experience of the AFC Cup campaign, it's a bit disappointing. Why? Because after getting a great start against ATK Mohun Bagan, they just threw it away. That's quite disappointing.
Yeah, and if we do get that derby, then we'll have 4 sets of fans from 2 different states arguing with each other about which is the bigger derby. And that'll make for an interesting conversation for sure. Right, and let's hope that ATK Mohun Bagan now do make it all the way in the AFC Cup. They have the interzone playoff semi to look forward to, after which they have the interzone playoff final. And if they make it through both of them, they will then, of course, play the interzone final. And if they win that, they will be crowned champions of the AFC Cup. So we'll keep you posted about that. Right, now, let's talk a bit more about the Santosh Trophy. It was one of the main tournaments that were held during the ISL offseason just a few weeks back. And Shaiju, you were front and center of all the action in the Santosh Trophy. The Kerala state team beating West Bengal in the final to win the tournament. And look, for such a storied and historic tournament to be held in Kerala, and then Kerala to go on and win it, how was the entire experience? Do you think that the state really rallied behind the team? Also, partly because KBFC had a relatively successful season in the Hero ISL as well, reaching the final. So do you think that also contributed to the entire excitement around that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. That also being contributed a lot of people coming in groups, in numbers to the stadium to back their state team in the Santosh Trophy. Not even the Hero ISL, that final spot for Kerala Blasters. We have to give full credit to Gokulam Kerala also winning the I-League, back-to-back I-League titles, and their women's team winning the women's I-League again. So I think all this, if you take one by one, the last one was the Santosh Trophy, and of course Malappuram is a hotbed of Kerala football. If you take 2%, 1% will discuss serious football with you. That's a geographical speciality of that region. So it held in Malappuram, in Manjeri. So I think by the success which shows and it points out to the All India Federation that give us more tournaments to Kerala and Malappuram. We can host. And the number of people's coming in. And again, that mahol, I'm talking about that mahol, that festivity. We need that festivity in India. Wherever football has to play, wherever football is playing, we need to see that kind of a gallery, thrilling with emotions, thrilling with excitement all throughout the 90 minutes. It was a great experience. And I'm very lucky to witness a couple of Kerala games, including final. Great tournament. And like a couple of players are getting good opportunities, good exposures regarding by the performance in the Santosh Trophy, like the 2 Kerala centre backs, Sanju, Ajay, Alex, and that top scorer Jessin, and the Kerala captain Jijo Joseph, and a couple of players. See, these all are yes sab hone ke liye tournaments chahiye. That's why I repeat that please conduct more tournaments and let give Kerala a chance to host it again, the national tournaments.
And I'm sure all the Kerala football fans would really love that. Shaiju, you mentioned the atmosphere and the mahol in the stadium. The West Bengal team were up against it in the final. And their captain Monotosh Chakradhar rallied his troops, tried his best, of course, couldn't get them over the line eventually. But now Varun, he's earned a move to Chennai FC, which is a great move for him, from the Santosh Trophy, being recognized over there, moving into the Hero ISL. Have you ever seen him play before?
Yes, I've seen him play, and I've also officiated a match where he played, recently.
Okay.
There was this tournament, a local tournament, so I saw him playing also. So he's a big name right now. Like, he's a local hero, so he's leading the Bengal side. And they almost made it, you were talking about Kerala being the champions of the Santosh Trophy. Bengal almost made it, but yes, because of the local support out there in the Malappuram Stadium, that's why they won maybe. But Bengal played brilliantly, led by Monotosh Chakradhar. And he's really looking forward to, playing in the Hero ISL, because we all think it can be a challenge for him after being a local hero, going for that national, level, getting a good stage to perform. But he thinks he'll just go with the flow. He really is looking forward, and he just wants to, don that Indian jersey, the national jersey. So he really looks forward to performing well, and he's eager to, like for the season to start and play on the field.
And Varun, I'll just use that opportunity to discuss Hero ISL transfers as well, especially coming to you for ATK Mohan Bagan. How do you think that unit is shaping up? Because Roy and David, that combo is not going to exist anymore, at least for the same team in the Hero ISL. Then you have the likes of Ashik Kurunian joining, Asrish Rai has joined. How do you feel ATK Mohan Bagan is shaping up before the new Hero ISL season?
I think major signings, like some major signings are happening, and I think it's giving nightmares to the other clubs for sure. Because of all these signings, I think the major signings are happening for the Mariners only. But yes, I'm going to miss Roy Krishna, David Williams. They were like Jai Viru of Sholay. So they were like Jai Viru for the Mariners. So I'm going to miss, and I'm going to miss that dance, after a goal, Roy Krishna and Probir Das, doing the dance. I'm going to miss it because Probir Das is also joining Bengaluru. But these are big signings. I really love the way Ashish Rai, has this energy on the field. Ashik Kurunian, just outstanding. And they're also having, some major signings, and Liston, Ashik Kurunian, both are going to be like lethal duo. And another addition to the team is going to be Brendan Hamill. I think he played for Melbourne Heart, but before that, he got a lot of offers from the Premier League teams, and he denied them just to play for Melbourne Heart. So I think he has that potential, and I think he's going to be that next hero kind of thing, which Roy Krishna was for ATK Mohan Bagan. So I think the next hero, though, in the defense line, but it's going to be Brendan.
And plus, Varun mentioned Probir Das. He's got a new home. He's moving to Nammauru, Bengaluru. How is that move going to pan out for him? First of all, is it a good move for Probir Das to move from an ATK Mohan Bagan to a Bengaluru FC?
Yeah, I think so. I think he deserves a lot more playing time. I think he's one of those players who can also kind of push the other young fullbacks that we have on the right side, even in the national team, because he's this one player who can bomb up and down the pitch. He's got a great early cross. Right. I think the striker's dream when he's in that full flow of delivering such balls inside the box. But we've got to see how Simon Grayson uses him, the new head coach.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised initially, not entirely, but a little bit, because of there was something about Bengaluru wanting to trust a longer term process, which clearly something did not work out with Pedzaouli. But now that Grayson has come back, and I've been reading about, it's a more direct style. It is a style that probably an Ashley Westwood initially got a lot of success at Bengaluru with in terms of British head coaches. But I'm going to wait and watch. This can be very interesting as to how it's going to work in terms of the football Bengaluru are going to try and play.
With Javi joining the team as well.
With Javi as well, he's going to be the creative force. Of course, there's a big name, goals from distance, and a lot of creativity and experience of the ISL of playing in this competition. But I think beyond all the signings, what really intrigues me is how Grayson is going to make Bengaluru play.
Yeah, that'll be fascinating. And Shaiju, why don't you provide us the view from Kerala Blasters FC as well now? A lot of contract extensions at Kerala Blasters FC, and the signing of Bryce Miranda from Churchill Brothers. And I'm sure there's going to be more signings coming up as well. How do you see Kerala Blasters FC shaping up, at least initially? There's been a lot of banter between Ivan Vukomanovic and Igor Stimac as well about potentially seeing the national team play the Kerala Blasters FC.
Yeah, hopefully, as a pre-season match, we will be lucky enough to witness India national team playing a practice match against Kerala Blasters in the very own Kochi Stadium. And imagine what kind of an atmosphere there will be, even though it is a exhibition or practice match. India versus Kerala Blasters. Oh, great. Indian. So hopefully, hopefully we are waiting. Crossing the means fingers crossed. Okay. But coming into the this thing, the team thing, the signings. Yes, like you said, you know very well than me that a lot of them are going to stay. Adrian Luna, Leskovic, and Pereira Diaz, they're going to stay. But I think as far as the Kerala Blasters are concerned, a big concern is about that Alvaro Vasquez. Vasquez is already left. How can we forget that 65-meter goal against Northeast United? So without Alvaro, Kerala Blasters is going to play the season 8 Hero ISL without Alvaro, is for sure. But for the LFL viewers, our viewers, I can say there will be an equivalent substitution, equivalent compensation for Alvaro from another Central South European nation. Keep your fingers crossed. Within 1 week.
Ooh, you heard it here first. All right, then with that, gentlemen, we conclude the pilot Let's Football Live off-season show with Pulasta Dhar, Kaushik Varun and Shaiju Damodran. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us over here today and enriching the conversation, making us richer in knowledge when it comes to Indian football. And thank you to everyone who tuned in as well. This is going to be happening every fortnight, and you can catch us live on the Hero ISL YouTube and Facebook accounts live. And until next time, we shall see you very, very soon. Take care.
And Jamshedpur have won the Hero ISL.